It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running. That's why at Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
They say to only bring what you can carry. So with the all-new 2025 Ford Expedition Tremor, bring a lot. Like 3 dirt bikes, a few tents, an entire crew ready to make memories. a panoramic 24-inch display, and the confidence to push your limits. The all-new 2025 Ford Expedition Tremor.
Always consult the owner's manual before off-road driving. Know your terrain and trail difficulty and use appropriate safety gear. Max payload varies based on accessories, vehicle configuration. See label on door jamb for carrying capacity of a specific vehicle. Always properly secure cargo.
Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Hold your head up, keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up, moving on. Hold your head up, moving on. Keep your head up. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to get used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Sweet dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Sweet dreams are made.
When it comes to back-to-school shopping at Target, we believe the best choice is all of the above. From first-day butterflies to last-day high fives and everything in between. At prices that will definitely make your day. For all of the above, it's back-to-school at Target.
Just a small town girl living in a lonely world. She took the midnight train going anywhere. Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. He took the midnight train going anywhere.
A singer in a smoky room, the smell of wine and cheap perfume. For a smile they can share the night. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard, their shadows searching in the night. Streetlights, people living just to find emotion, hiding somewhere in the night. Working hard to get my fill. Everybody wants a thrill. Paying anything to roll the dice just one more time. Some will win, some will lose. Some are born to sing the blues. Oh, the movie never ends. It goes on and on and on and on. Strangers waiting up and down the boulevard, their shadows searching in the night. Streetlights, people living just to find emotion, hiding somewhere in the Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Streetlight people. Don't stop believing. Hold on. Streetlight people. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Streetlight people.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, fast, friendly delivery, and flexible financing to fit your budget. Go to mybobs.com for details. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com.
Oh, my Bob!
Bob's Discount Furniture.
Tonight, I just wanna take you away. Throw your hands up in the sky. Let's set this party off right. Players, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out! Pop, pop, it's showtime. 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 Guess who's back again? Oh, they don't know. Downtown. Oh, they don't know. Downtown. I bet they know as soon as we walk in. Showed up. I'm wearing Cuban links. Yeah. Designer mix. Yeah. Inglewood's finest shoes. Whoop, whoop. Don't look too hard, might hurt yourself. Known to give the color red the blues. Woo, shit. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jacking. Keep up. Players only. Come on, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? gangsters, bad bitches, and your ugly ass friends. I cannot preach, I cannot preach. I gotta show them how a pimp get it in. First, take your sip, do your dip, spend your money like money ain't shit. Ooh, ooh, we too fresh. Got to blame it on Jesus. Hashtag blessed. They ain't ready for me. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jocking. Keep up. Players only. Come on, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? What you trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out. Everywhere I go, they be like, ooh, so bad. Everywhere I go, they be like, ooh, so bad. Everywhere I go, they be like, ooh, so bad. Now, watch me break it down like, 24 karat, 24 karat. What's that sound? Come on now. 24 karat, 24 karat magic. Don't fight the feeling, invite the feeling. Just put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? Tell me what you're trying to do. 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. In every life we have some trouble. But when you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy now. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry. Be happy.
Teresa did? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's find our seats, please. We are just about ready to start. Well, good morning, Wayne Township. Welcome back to the 2025-2026 school year. You all look amazing in your purple shirts. One of my favorite days of the year. Let's get it started off right. Please stand for the posting of our colors by the Ben Davis Junior ROTC. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem by Ben Davis High School's own Mark Brown. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. appreciate it. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Brown. And another round of applause for our Ben Davis Jr. ROTC. You may be seated. You know, we are very proud in the MSD of Wayne Township to have been a part of bringing the Purple Star recognition to schools across the state of Indiana, working with then State Superintendent Jennifer McCormick to bring the program here to Indiana. And last year, for the very first time, the MSD of Wayne Township had every single one of our schools recognized as a Purple Star school. Congratulations to you all. We'd like to honor our veterans and those who have served. If you are currently actively serving or are a veteran, would you please stand? Please remain standing. If you have a family member who is actively serving or is a veteran, please stand. Thank you all for your sacrifice. Thank you all for your service. You may be seated. Don't forget, if you're happening to post today, to use the hashtag #WeAreWayne. This is going to be a little different today, our opening day for 2025, because we're going to have a little bit more participation than we've had in the past. But I promise you, it will be something that you all can do. And if not, your neighbor will help. We're going to start off, though. Emily, would you please stand? Emily has a 50th birthday today. One of our traditions in the boardroom when we have a member of the board or cabinet with the birthday is we always sing happy birthday. So could we please all sing happy birthday to Emily? I'll start us off and then we'll all participate. Ready? Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I don't care how old you are, I don't care where you are, that always makes you smile when somebody's singing happy birthday. A couple public service announcements. If you have not yet done your videos, they might be caught in spam, so make sure to check those out so you can get your videos taken care of. I think Jake DeWitt, where are you? Jacob, where's Jacob? Were you the first one? Were you the first one this year? Yeah, you wait like at 12:01, July 1st, right? Yeah. There. Also, well, I have lost a slide. Where'd it go? We have the wrong presentation up. Talks amongst yourselves for a minute. Well, we knew something had to go wrong on this last one, didn't we? I'm pretty sure I must not have saved the updated version last night. Show of hands. How many of you received an email from me with an extra job opportunity to earn $500 a day? Yeah. Actually, it was signed by me, but it was sent by a student. You got it? It was not for me, by the way. One of the things that we are working very hard on is artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. When you get those phishing alerts or when you get those emails that are too good to be true, that are offering you free tickets, that are offering you paid opportunities for additional work, and they look suspicious, please report those. Do not open those up. In fact, today we're launching new software to help to catch some of those emails that are coming across. They're happening more and more often. And so if you happen to have one of those, just delete it. We are aware that it is there. But I wanted to just bring that up to everyone as we're seeing more and more of those happening. Let's meet our school board members. School board president, Mr. Brandon Bowman. Vice president, Susan Graves. Secretary, Karen Burke. Board member Mike Nance. Board member Sherry O'Day Marcotte. And board member Ben Wakefield. As you all know, the board is currently actively looking for your 6th superintendent. If you have not yet filled out that survey, I think we're up to how many? Over 1,000 responses to the survey. So thank you to all of you who have filled out that survey to help the board to know what you are looking for in your next superintendent candidate. But make sure you get that filled out. It does close this Friday, I believe. No, next Monday, actually. It'll close next Monday. So if you've not filled that out, please do so. There's links on our website. There's also a link that you've received in your email, and then also on this latest posting for the briefings with Butts that came out just last Friday. All right, let's meet our cabinet. Our Assistant Superintendent for Exceptional Learners, Dr. Danita Harris. Our Chief Technology Officer, Tony Harvey. Assistant Superintendent for Elementary, Heather Pierce. Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations, Steve Samuel. Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Shania Suggs. Chief Communications Officer, Janine Templeman. And our Assistant Superintendent for Secondary, Liz Walters. One of the things you're going to hear about a little bit later on this morning is about leadership. And I could not be more proud of the leadership that is being developed across the school district because of opportunities that we have with our Lilly Grant, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit, but just the engagement that our employees, that you are having with each other. And so I feel extremely confident, extremely blessed that the corporation is in great hands with the leaders we have on our school board, our cabinet, in our buildings, and throughout every part of this organization, regardless of what your role is. You have a critical role, a critical part in the future success of our district. So thank you for all that you're doing for that. But I do want to mention also very important group in our school district, the Wayne Township Classroom Teachers Association. We are represented today by several members, Wayne Township Teachers Association. Sorry. The Classroom Teachers Association has a new president, Alyssa Pretty Allen, if you would please stand. Vice President Michelle Hine. Secretary Jen Block. Past President Dan Schifano. And I don't know, is Alstar here anywhere up in the stands? Up there, very good. Thank you, Alstar, as our treasurer. Also, the Education Foundation, we have several members of our Education Foundation board. Please stand. A couple of notes on our, you can stand now. There you go. Led by Executive Director Lisa Bays. A couple fun facts about our Education Foundation Board. Kristen Dawn was the first teacher to serve as president of the Education Foundation. And 7 of the members on the Education Foundation are Ben Davis alums. So thank you all for your service. Thanks for all you do for our teachers in our classrooms. A new opportunity for us and for the foundation to do fundraising is going to be on October the 4th. For all of you trivia buffs who are wanting to win prizes, I think cash and prizes, right? Cash and prizes, October the 4th, teams of 4 or 8 to participate in the trivia night will be held up at the Girl Scout Center just north of here, up at the Camp Delwood, corner of 21st and Girls School. So look forward to that. Sign up for your teams and just look forward to a great night of enjoyment. We also have some partners out in the entryway as you came in through the hallway. As I shared with our new teachers on Friday, we had both Corebridge and Kaufman Wealth Management out there. They are here to make sure to increase your quality of life in retirement, right? And to make sure that you are getting that match from the school board. So if you do not have a 403 yet, if you've not signed up, make sure you see those 2 tables out there. Decide which person you like or which group you'd like to be involved with. Also, Teachers Treasures was out there. Over $700,000 of supplies went to classrooms in the MSD of Wayne Township last year. Can we give our friends at Teachers Treasures a nice round of applause? Huge thank you to the Classroom Teachers Association for taking care of all of our new teachers, for their membership for the first year, and then for the Wayne Township Education Foundation covering half of the membership for the first 300. So if you've not yet signed up and you want to grab that QR code, you can do that. It's also available on, I think, the Education Foundation's website, and also Teacher Treasure. You can go directly to their website and sign up for all those free supplies. We also have one of our elected officials here today. We are represented by several different groups of elected officials here in the MSD of Wayne Township. Representative Pack, if you would please stand. Renee Pack, representing District 92. Representative Pack, of course, is a Wayne Township resident. She is a former employee. She is a veteran and serves us down at the State House in District 92. We're going to have a chance to work together a lot more this upcoming year. So thank you for all you do, Representative Pack. Nice round of applause again for Representative Pack, please. A year ago, I asked you which of these children you were on this tree. You may or may not remember that, but take a look again. Where are you today on this tree? Mr. White, we might want to dim the lights for this one just so we get a clear picture. Once you've identified the child that you are on this tree, discuss it with your shoulder partner. Mr. White, we can turn the lights back on, and we're back in 3, 2, and 1. Now, my question for you is, what does that say about you this morning? Where you are, which person you identified with, and was it the same as it was last year? I would argue that for me it changes every day, right? Sometimes I'm this boy at the top of the tree, and just about the time I get up there, somebody knocks me down, and I'm dazed and confused at the bottom. I think the most important thing is knowing where we are on the tree, being self-aware enough that we know exactly where we are so that we can make sure that our actions are reflective of that, and make the appropriate changes so that we can engage with our colleagues, engage with our students, be the best selves for each other in what we're doing. Because in the end, we come back to our why. These were actual kindergartners. They may actually be graduates at this point. But I always come up with the one that is my favorite. When asked what their aspirations were, this young man, his aspiration was to be awesome. Doesn't that fit right in with our strategic plan, with our mission and our vision to develop great people? In that strategic plan, we engaged all of our employees, we engaged our stakeholders, 16,000 students, 2,300 staff, 93 countries, the most that we've ever had, and over 80 languages spoken here in the MSD of Wayne Township. We continue to see our population changing, and what I'm so proud of here in the MSD of Wayne Township is how we serve our children, how we serve our families. And we know that we are under constant attack right now with the messaging that's happening at the state level and at the federal level. That does not change the children that are walking into our classrooms. That does not change our mission. It does not change our call to serve all. And we will continue to make sure that every single one of our children, every single one of our families is seen, is represented, and is served by the teachers here in the MSD of Wayne Township. "20 years ago, when I was blessed to join the MSD of Wayne Township, our demographics did not look like this. We were right in the middle of our desegregation order with Judge Dillon. We had students attending from Hawville, but yet today we continue to see the beautiful diversity of our community represented. 71% of our children of color here in the MSD of Wayne Township. And that's where this latest strategic plan became so important. All of the voices that we had that contributed to our 4 main focus areas. We had over 8,300 constituents. We had 10,000, almost 11,000 students. 90 community members participated, which created our mission, our vision, and our beliefs. The beauty in our vision is we have to have some agreement. What is a great person? We didn't say great students, but to develop great people. Take a look to your left. Take a look to your right. Did you find a great person? I hope so. I hope so. Hopefully there's about 2,100 great people sitting in this room right now. To develop great people is about each other, it's about the families we serve, and it's about the students that we have the opportunity to be blessed to work with. And if we can agree on what that greatness looks like, then we can continue to work together. Not separate, apart, not divisive, but together. Our 5 values, growth, equity, high expectations, integrity, and trust, continue to remain and continue to be strong. And then those 4 focus areas, to reconceptualize teaching and learning, a critical one today, increasing student belonging, the recruitment and retention of great staff, and by the way, we're going to have them stand up here in just a minute. This is the smallest group of new teachers we have had in my memory. Only 65 new staff members this year, meaning that we have greater retention than we've ever had. So thank you for sticking around. Thank you for being back this year. As you well know, last year we studied what professional development looked like in the MSD of Wayne Township. We were alarmed to learn that we had over 1,200 instructional days where we did not have our students in front of, or excuse me, our teachers in front of students because we as a district had pulled out teachers. That's outside of sick days, it's outside of other things that are personal days and things going on. So we knew we had to do something different. That committee looked at 3 different things. They looked at an early release, a late start, and yes, they studied the 4-day school week. And what did we come up with? Yeah, no. Some of you already do that, by the way. We settled on late arrival. Every Monday, a 2-hour late arrival for our students of dedicated professional development, of time for you to feed into yourselves, for you to continue to hone your craft, to work with each other, to learn from each other, 2 dedicated hours every single Monday. And we added 3 additional full-day professional development days in addition to the one that we currently have in November. So now in November and May, when we have voters in our schools, we will not have students. And then we have an extra day in September and one in February. So we're excited about those opportunities as well. Thank you for all of you who served on that committee. Yeah, absolutely. You won't be able to make heads or tails out of this, but what this demonstrates is there is a plan. There actually are structured things that are going to happen on each Monday, and those have been well laid out already in advance. So we're looking forward to having those structured Mondays each and every opportunity when we have school on a Monday for that 2-hour late start. Huge focus on literacy this year. Congratulations to all of our staff who are participating in our literacy efforts. We saw an 8% increase over last year in I Read 3 scores. Congratulations. We are participating in the literacy cadre, and across the state, the cadre schools only saw, or did see, a 2.5% increase, yet we saw 8. That's due to the amazing, amazing work that are happening in our classrooms, those who stayed after and did tutoring, those who are engaged in all of the literacy work that is happening across the state and here in the MSD of Wayne Township. So thank you so much. Our students were the benefactors. We were able to get most of our students into 3rd grade without retaining them due to the efforts over the course of the school year and over the summer. So thank you to all of our teachers. Thank you to all of our support staff who made that possible. We know a really heavy lift this year for our secondary staff is going to be the new diploma with the SEALs. We're working hard to align our coursework and our opportunities for that new diploma. That has been ongoing for a couple of years, but that takes effect for this year's incoming freshmen, the class of 2029. I mentioned the Lilly grant. That is, we did receive $9 million, actually $7.5 million. We matched the other amount that we had to, but we right now have 250 of our leaders, classroom leaders, building leaders, district leaders, going through the National Institute of School and Systems Leadership. In the next 4 years, 810 teachers are going to go through Teaching for Effective Learning, where you're going to work together in cadres, either biads or triads, to do some action research and have some time to actually see each other and to work together with each other. And then we're going through, as a district, the designing systems at work. Phase 3 is due August 25th. We're actively working on that. That is another $40 million in grant money. And you can see some of the partners that we're engaging for phase 3 of the Lilly grant. So fingers crossed, we should know in December if we receive that grant and could begin that work. And then of course we continue to work on our energy management and look at the systems that we have in place to try to push more dollars into the classroom and away from our utility companies. Got a short little video. It is a bit dated, but want to just take a look here. Mr. White. I think one of the things that is most underestimated is the power of student voice. And I think back to when we really were charged to think differently about how we are gathering energy, how we are utilizing energy, how we're saving energy here in the MSD of Wayne Township. A group of interested students at Ben Davis High School started a club known as the Green Giants. We are the Ben Davis Giants, and they started a club known as the Green Giants and did a full analysis of our utilization of energy at Ben Davis High School and came to us with a report and said, you must do better. You are not utilizing energy well. You're wasting energy with how you are running this building, and we would like for you to do better. And that was our charge. So from that group of students and that report that they gave us, we started to explore how we could be better consumers of energy in the 21 facilities that we have, and how we can look forward to a very bright future utilizing natural resources and utilizing some of the technologies that allow us to be better users of energy and to be more efficient, thereby allowing more tax dollars that we are collecting to go to classrooms, to go to supplies, to go to programming for students, and not to our utility company.
This is a situation where every dollar saved is going back into the classrooms. You know, we are a people-heavy organization. 90% of what we pay for is the great people that are working with our students each and every day. And I think that's a great way to look at these energy savings projects, is every dollar saved is an investment back into our students through our facilities and through mostly the amazing people we have serving our students. So as we think about how we recognize our staff members and how we are able to compensate our staff members, you know, these dollars are a big piece of the strategy to be able to maintain competitive salaries and competitive benefits for our employees in MSD of Wayne Township.
When we began trying to put our team together, we looked first internally with the experts in our operations department, with the leaders in our business department, but we also knew that we needed somebody who really operated in this space, somebody who was an industry leader in solar, and that was Verigy. They just happened to be located in our district, which made it even more convenient and even more special for us to utilize that partner. But they're located all over the world and are doing projects around the globe. We just happen to be benefited by Verigy being here in our district. So we sat down and we started to put pencil to paper and look at solutions. And our first project was a 17-acre solar farm at Ben Davis High School located on the far west side that also included 2 generators that were natural gas powered, 750 kilowatt generators that would help us to shave peak load when the sun was not transferring as much energy as what we would need to reduce about 80% of the energy that we were utilizing in the Ben Davis High School 9th grade center and Area 31 campus. This 17-acre solar farm was our very first project. It's located on the west side of the Ben Davis High School 9th grade center and Area 31 campus. We took this 17 acres that used to serve as a golf driving range and turned it into a terrific opportunity to capture the energy from the sun, transferring it to Ben Davis High School, the 9th grade center, and Area 31, reducing our energy usage by almost 80%, allowing us to send more dollars into the classroom.
These boilers behind me are capable of running between 92 and 99% efficiency at full turn down. And we can run these boilers at about 120 degrees. Truthfully, advanced thermal hydronics says that it's better to run 3 of them at 20% as opposed to 1 at 100%. The boilers we had in here previously, they were only about 80% efficient.
When we start to look at what we're paying for, energy obviously is a big piece of that. And so this is a project that has short-term benefits, you know, where we're obviously saving money today on energy costs because of the energy we can produce with solar, being more efficient with our boilers and our chillers and things like that. But we also know that as we look ahead and move forward, that the cost of energy continues to rise. And so this investment is something that not only does it continue to pay off down the road, but what we're seeing is that it continues to pay off at a higher level with each given year, and with the increase in rates in electricity and natural gas that are coming at us.
And we're not done. Our new transportation center will have solar canopies that will transfer enough energy to net meter 4 more buildings in the MSD of Wayne Township. In the 37.5 square miles that make up the MSD of Wayne Township, we have 25 different buildings. 21 of those are schools, making up 3.2 million square feet under roof that we are trying to make sure to reduce our energy costs. Not only are we transferring energy from the sun, but we're also trying to create our own energy so that we can direct more dollars back into the classroom. So, that video is just a little bit dated. You saw the $3.2 million in savings. We're actually up to $4 million in savings. The Transportation Center which was just finished, is going online. It will net meter 4 more buildings Westlake Elementary, the fire headquarters, the conference center, and transportation, saving us almost $1.5 million a year that now gets to go into the classrooms that is not going to AES or the other utility companies. So thank you, board, for your commitment to that. Greatly appreciate it. Well, you saw the slide. What's an opening day without a little bit of dancing? We've done it a few different ways in the past, but I need some helpers up here. So Mrs. Pfister, Mr. Bragg, Mrs. States, Mrs. Graybosch, come on up. Who am I missing? Who else am I missing? Any other new administrators? Perfect. Oh yes, Mr. Pratt. Mr. Pratt, come on down. These 5 individuals have new administrative positions this school year. Actually, Casey, we hope tonight, right? We might be a little bit ahead of ourselves, but she is the nominated candidate, the recommended candidate for our preschool principal. So all summer long, administrators have been asking, are we going to rehearse? Is this something that we need to be ready for? Because usually we have a couple rehearsals. Our choir department is usually really good about putting some moves together for us. But I thought, you know what? I think everybody should participate this year. So, please stand. You guys want to get a little bit of room. Some of you may want to spread out a little bit into the aisles, just kind of get a little elbow room. A little bit of elbow room. Now, I do believe that you all either know this dance or somebody next to you will help you very quickly to know this dance. Should we practice just a little bit? So here's how the first move goes. You put your right foot in. You put your right foot out. You put your right foot in, and you see, you guys are naturals. I will say I have had a few dreams where somebody came tumbling down the bleachers. So when you're doing the hokey pokey, stay in your own comfort zone, please. Don't trip and fall. Be a horrible liability.
There's DIY, and there's doing it yourself.
We'll get through our commercial here. There we go.
It's the difference between being creative and being a creator. Between a homemade recipe
maybe
and a household name. Between a daydream.
We are not a traditional cafe.
Come on.
Wix. One platform, any website. Unlimited creation. Describe your needs and goals. And AI will transform your tailored brief into a unique website that's ready to perform in minutes. Customize it. Shape your visitor's experience with show-stopping visuals.
You deserve the best. At Harbor Freight, you can afford it. Performance, durability, affordability.
Here we go.
You put your right foot in, you put your right foot out, you put your right foot in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Left foot.
You put your left foot in, you put your left foot out, you put your left foot in and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Right arm.
You put your right arm in, you put your right arm out, you put your right arm in, and then you shake it all about.
Left arm.
You put your left arm in, you put your left arm out, you put your left arm in, and then you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Right elbow.
You put your right elbow in, you put your right elbow out, you put your right elbow in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Left elbow.
You put your left elbow in, you put your left elbow out, you put your left elbow in, and then you shake it all about.
Head.
You put your head in, you put your head out, you put your head in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Right hip.
You put your right hip in, you put your right hip out, you put your right hip in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Left hip.
You put your left hip in, you put your left hip out, you put your left hip in, and you shake it all about.
Whole self.
You put your whole self in, you put your whole self out, you put your whole self in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Backside.
You put your backside in, you put your backside out, you put your backside in, and you shake it all about. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Hokey pokey.
You do the hokey pokey, the hokey pokey. You do the hokey pokey. That's what it's all about.
Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to our new administrators as well. Great job, everyone. Thank you for participating. I saw some uncomfortable faces up there. I appreciate those of you who decided to participate. Just a reminder, the Panorama Survey will be coming out fairly soon. We are so thrilled that we have 80% staff participation, continued increase in student participation all the time. So thank you. Make sure you fill that out. It does inform what we're doing here in the district, and is very, very important for us. All right. Again, the version I didn't save had Marco's picture up here, but we want to recognize some of our top employees. Marco, where are you? Ninth grade center? Where's Marco? Marco was our, where is he? He's working, sorry. Trying to get the building ready to go. Marco was named our 2024-25 Custodian of the Year. Congratulations to Marco. Transportation Employee of the Year, Tammy Brooks. Tammy, where are you? Stand up, there you go. Tammy was actually recognized at our dedication of the Transportation Center. Congratulations. And our Mildred Gilbert Award for Child Nutrition Employee of the Year, Sarah Scott from Chapelwood. Congratulations. Our Teachers of the Year, Secondary Teacher of the Year and Ben Davis High School Teacher of the Year, Dan Schifano. Achieve Virtual, Bob Lewis. Bob, where are you? Where's Bob? He's not here? Oh, he has jury duty. All right, he's excused. Ben Davis High School, Samantha Johnson. John Bendel Dimmick from Ben Davis University High School. Molly Lucas from Bridgeport Elementary. Julie Anderson from Chapel Glen. Sandra Ramyak from Chapelwood. Thomas Gillespie from Chapel Hill. Casey Kendall from Garden City. Monica Mueller from Lyndhurst 7th and 8th grade center. Kaylin Eisel from Maplewood. Shannon Copeland, our elementary teacher of the year, and McClellan. Teresa Krybueller Sorensen from Ben Davis 9th grade center. Carrie Ann Clough, North Wayne. Christina Ramyak, our first time to have sisters, in both Teacher of the Year, Christina Ramyak from Rhodes. Mindy Lindsay from Roby Elementary. Abby Sigworth from Sanders. Gayleen Rubin from Stout Field. Terry Howard from the preschool. Dale Kendall from Wayne Preparatory Academy. Jacob Toney from Westlake. All right, now's that time that everybody either loves or hates. If you are an alumnus, please stand. Take a look at all of these alumnus that have come back to work for their alma maters. Excellent. If you are a new employee this year, any employee group, please stand. Welcome. Okay, everyone please stand. Real quick, if you have not calculated how many years you've been here, now's the time to do that. We do have a new teacher of the year, a new longest standing teacher this year. Bill Gilmartin did retire, and so we will have a new jersey that will be on the way to our longest serving teacher in the MSD of Wayne Township. Our other two categories remain. So if you've been employed for 5 or fewer years, you may sit down. 10 or fewer years, you may sit down. 15 or fewer. 20 or fewer. 25. 30 years or fewer. 35 years or fewer. 40 years or fewer. 50 Michelle Milcrane is our longest serving teacher in the MSD of Wayne Township. Michelle, if I'm not mistaken, you student taught here and have taught in Wayne Township your entire career, is that right? You've got a jersey coming your way. Congratulations. "45 years. Katrina McKinney has been our longest serving classified employee. Started with us right after high school. I thought for sure during my 15 years as superintendent I would give at least one more jersey away, but Katrina has had the one and only jersey for the longest serving classified employee of the year. Congratulations to Katrina McKinney. We had to create a new category for Mr. Mutz. He retired from Lyndhurst 7th and 8th grade center as a teacher and just couldn't stay away, and became the parent liaison at Maplewood Elementary School. So congratulations, starting his 48th year in the MSD of Wayne Township. Oh, by the way, Michelle, I've got some tickets here for you. Mr. Rasmussen gave us some tickets for the fair, so make sure to stop by and get those as well. So thank you very much. We had to leave? Okay, all right. But he came by and dropped off some tickets to the fair. So you heard me talk about leadership a little bit earlier. And former school board member Stan Ellis. How many people remember Stan Ellis? A little bit? A little bit. Stan Ellis was a retired teacher in the MSD of Wayne Township, served on our board for decades, and Stan always used to remind us that leadership doesn't just happen in the office. Leadership happens throughout our entire organization. And when you Google leadership books, there's tens, hundreds of thousands of leadership books, all with different ideas about what makes a good leader. And it's important to remember the distinction between a leader and a boss. We've probably worked for both, leaders and bosses. Leaders are people we follow. Bosses are people that tell us what to do. Huge, huge difference. And so as we think about that difference, what does that look like for you? What does that look like in your role? Picture somebody in your head whom you have wanted to follow. Somebody who has inspired you, somebody who has encouraged you to be better, to be your best. And you would have done anything for them. Any task they asked, you would have done it. Also picture that boss that you may have worked for. I've had a few in my career. People that I do things as they tell me, but not because I wanted to, not because I was inspired to, and I can certainly say I was not my best self working for a boss. And so when I had the pleasure to meet Dr. Jim Mahoney, his message resonated with me. Dr. Mahoney is a longtime educator. He's been in the classroom, he's been a building level administrator, been a superintendent. Took over a company called Battelle for Kids, small little company, and took it globally. Grew it into an organization that was serving schools, educators, and youth across the globe. He then decided to continue to work with adults to help them be their best selves, and has taught at many Ohio universities, currently at the Ohio State. Do we have any Ohio State alum? Couple. That's all right. He's in friendly territory. Dr. Mahoney was actually stationed at Fort Ben Harrison when he was active duty. And so Indianapolis has a lot of great memories for him, and he's thrilled to be back. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the stage Dr. Jim Mahoney.
Okay, what an awesome morning. The energy was unbelievable, and I thought, did I dress right? I had no idea everybody would be purple. But I looked up your colors, and not everything I have is scarlet and gray. But anyway, it is an absolute pleasure to be here. Now I want to try something. I've never done this before, but if you can dance, you can do this. I've never done a call and response with a group this large in a gym. And the way this is going to work, I'm going to say, we are, and then I want this side to say, Wayne. Okay? And then I'll look over this side and I'll say, we are. And you'll say, Wayne. And then we'll do one together. I just want to do this once, so indulge me here. Okay? You ready on this side? We are. Wayne. We are. Wayne. Together. They won, by the way. One more time. Everybody, we are. Wayne. It is the collective energy that all of you bring that makes it possible for thousands of students to grow and become and prosper. And I'll say right at the beginning, in absentia for all of them, thank you for what you do. I also want to thank Jeff. I spent 15 years as a school superintendent in Ohio, and it's hard. You have both beginnings and endings. And I want to do one more call and response. This one will involve coordination. Over here, when I point, I want you to say thank you. And on this side, Jeff. All right, we ready? Thank you. I have to say, this is the first time I've ever seen a school superintendent dance the hokey pokey. So, again, it's a pleasure to be here. And for Michelle, who's taught for so long and worked, I want to tell you, this is, starting this next year, it's hard to believe, given my youthful appearance, this will be my 53rd year of teaching, and I will meet my students this fall here in about 3 weeks. So I'm looking forward to it. It doesn't get old. Now, I want to tell you, this was 5 years ago. I had the opportunity. I waited a little late. Years ago, when I taught in public school, middle school, I coached high school baseball. I still love baseball. Now, this is where we have some common ground. I'll bet there's some Cincinnati Reds fans in here. And we have some hope this year. We just finished the sweep. Well, I will tell you, in 2000, I decided to do something. I waited a little late to do this. I went to Goodyear, Arizona, and I participated. That's the spring training camp of the Reds, and it was the Indians then. And I participated in what was called fantasy camp. We played baseball, a doubleheader, every day for a week. Now, I spent 3 months getting ready for this. Brandon, I'm taking ground balls every day. I'm throwing. I don't want to embarrass myself. My guess is that the campers are going to be younger. I was right about that. And they wouldn't be making allowances. They weren't. Now, I'll only get to the end because I played baseball every day. Former Reds players were the coaches. When I got on the plane in Arizona to go back to Columbus, a week later, absolute true story. First of all, I could not lift my left arm. It was purple. I had torn a biceps. I couldn't lift my right leg. I had a severely pulled groin muscle. The top of my left foot, I was sure was broken from a line drive off the first base side where I tried to catch it with my foot because my glove didn't get down quick enough. Now, I hobbled onto the plane and I go back to Columbus. I go to see the orthopedic guy on Monday. He's the same one who gave me a shot in my knee. And I went in and I said, hey, My knee felt great, really worked. Took off my jacket, he looked at this. Now here's what I said to him, and here's what I hope each of you say when you turn the page like Jeff's getting ready to turn the page. I take off my jacket, he looks at my arm, and I said to him, I don't know what I did. I don't know what you have to do, but I just want to say one thing. It was worth it! At the end of the day, the happiest people are the people who remember the things that should not be forgotten and forget the things that should not be remembered. And at the end of the day, whenever you finally decide you're making a transition, you want to be able to say, it was worth it. And the things that you're deciding right now as to how you'll approach the year begin with that in mind. So it does matter. Now, I want to start with a proverb, a quotation, and a quick metaphor. The proverb is this: if you want 1 year of prosperity, grow grain. If you want 10 years of prosperity, grow trees. If you want 100 years of prosperity, grow people. You are all in the people growing business. And there's nothing more exhilarating, challenging, frustrating. Sometimes that's just before 10 o'clock in the morning. And you have all those things. I saw a bumper sticker about leadership that I love. It said, leaders deal with the most baffling material on earth. People. And all of you are leaders because there are people who you are working with common goals, whether it's students or it's transportation, in all of those areas, because leadership always starts first with self-leadership. Now, one of my favorite quotations is, the grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So you have to decide what you want green. If you want innovation, water ideas. If you want compliance, water rules. If you want trust, water engagement. So decide what it is you want, and those are the things that you begin to water. Now, my metaphor is this. I don't know if you know where the warmest place on earth, temperature-wise, has ever been. The highest recorded temperature, 134 degrees. It was in Death Valley, California. Now, Death Valley is an interesting place if you've ever been there. It's just a barren wasteland. But in 2004, something unusual happened. Now, this is a place that gets about 1/4 inch of rain a year. And in 2004, that fall, they started to get regular rain. Not the torrential downpours and flooding, but regular rain. Into 2005, January, February. In fact, by the time spring rolled around, they had had 6 inches of rain. And for the first time, and I've talked to people who were there, for the first time, there were wildflowers everywhere in the basin of Death Valley. It's never happened since. It had never happened before. But the metaphor is this: under the right conditions, anything or anyone can flourish. You're planting the seeds for others to flourish. That's what you do as you start to set the conditions for things to work. Now, I want to take a baseball metaphor, and I'm going to give you what I think are 4 pillars of leadership. It doesn't matter the role you have. It doesn't matter, because all of you are leaders. You are convincing people to follow you, not just telling people what to do. And I'm going to give you 4 bases of leadership, because it doesn't matter in any industry. And Jeff had mentioned this has been a long time ago. I was the 2nd lieutenant at Fort Ben Harrison. I have to tell you as an aside, I was with somebody when we got our assignments. I looked at him, I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to India, no place." I looked at mine, I said, "I'm going with you." But at the end of the day, we had a wonderful experience at Fort Ben Harrison so many decades ago. But that began my lifelong devotion to Indiana, except with Big Ten games. Anyway, these are the 4 bases that I think you have to touch, always. First is context. You have to decide, what do your kids need now? What do they need right now? What do they need next? You're constantly thinking about what's around the corner. And you're constantly thinking about, what do they need now? What do they need right now? Because sometimes the right now trumps the now. It's like, we have this. We went through a lot of the right now with COVID. There are different things on the ground that change how we approach things. So those matter. I will tell you, where I was superintendent, it's right on Route 70. If you go east a couple of 100 miles, you'll be there. An area called Muskingum County in Ohio, Zanesville. And there's the 7th Street exit. If you get off there, when I was county superintendent, it's a large building. We were on the 3rd floor. Now, I have to tell you what happened to me one time when I was there. We had large training facility on the 2nd floor that people throughout the county used. And sometimes when they had large trainings, if you couldn't find a place to park, it was hard because people would come for the trainings. I got there one morning about 10 o'clock. I couldn't find a place to park. Now, I tell you what, I thought about it this morning because I still do this. When I can't find a place to park, I just invent a spot. Now, before you go, oh, you're what? No, I don't block other cars. I don't block fire trucks. I like the ones at the mall, you know, where I could get at least half my cars on the last line. Whoever I parked to this morning, I made a parking spot. You know who you are because you made one next to me after I made one. So I still do this. Now, I get there about 10 o'clock because I've been somewhere else, and I knew people were waiting on me, and it was packed. And then I found this one spot back here by the dumpster, and if I put my car in there, this would work, so I parked there. I didn't think about my black car all day. I go in, had my meeting, I'm there. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening. I get on an elevator, I come down. There's some young man from the health department. He comes out. We're chit-chatting. I didn't know him. We go out the sliding glass doors. And now we head to the parking lot, and the parking lot's deserted except for my black car, which is 3 spots away from the nearest parking spot. I see this kid looking at my car. And as we kind of head down the sidewalk, I said, why do you suppose somebody park like that? He looked at me and said, I don't know, drunk or stupid. At that point, I didn't tell him it was my car. I pretended to be waiting for a ride. I thought at 10 o'clock this morning, that was creative. That was resourceful. And at 6 o'clock in the evening, it looked like something very different because the context had changed. So leaders have to pay attention to context. When Jeff mentioned up here and showed AI, I don't know where AI is going to take us, and I'm making no predictions. But at the end of the day, it is going to impact us. When the Khan Academy now is using an AI tutor, individual tutor for every kid, there's going to be lots of creative uses of this, and part of understanding the context is how we use it. This happened to me 2 weeks ago in Florida. For the first time I got in a self-driving car. Now there was a guy in there, he said, you care if I use this feature? I looked over and said, okay. And we drove 25 miles, passing cars on the interstate, and this guy never touched the wheel. And I thought, well, I don't know where this is all going, but at the end of the day, you get my point. Context matters. We have to still pay attention. Look, when I started teaching in that middle school all those years ago, high tech would have been an overhead projector. We wanted to have, just like the bowling alleys had. That was it. So you begin to think about all the changes that have occurred. I saw this wonderful placard the other day, and it went like this. My wife asked me why I was talking so low. I said, I didn't want Mark Zuckerberg to hear us. And then she laughed, and I laughed, and Suri laughed, and Alexa laughed. You get the idea of how the world has changed. Look, there was a time when, that at the end of the day, Twitter was just a sound. Cloud was a meteorological condition, and an app was something some kid filled out to go to college. The world has dramatically changed, and we have to pay attention to the context. I want to share one study. When I was at Battelle for Kids, we did a survey of kids with 10,000 teachers who agreed in several states. And what we were trying to do was develop a survey that teachers could use, get feedback from kids to deepen engagement with kids. So they all agreed to do this. They all saw the questions ahead of time, but the one I remember was a question that said, my teacher cares about me. Well, of course they do. And the kids filled that out. 10,000 kids filled it out, and less than half answered that positively. Now I want you to get your head around this a minute. Of course those teachers cared, but your intention may not be somebody's reality. So that's part of context. So to think about what it is that you want and to get feedback and to make sure, that's what leaders in classrooms do. That's what leaders do with other people. So whether it's strategic plans, in getting feedback is the breakfast of champions. So first base is context. It's what's happening right now. Second base is my favorite. This is my bias. Second base is communication. Communication. People are down on what they're not up on. And when you think about communication, here are my two rules. You get what you give. You want enthusiasm? You need to be enthusiastic. You want respect? You need to give respect. Whatever it is you want from somebody else, you need to give it. I used to do this with my sixth graders, and just indulge me for a minute. Everybody make one of these. All right, you got one of those? Okay, now put it on your chin. Okay? Now look around. Most of you, of course, don't have it on your chin. You have it like I do on the side of my face. That at the end of the day, what you model matters. What you model matters. You get what you give. My favorite story comes from Ireland. One of my favorite places to go. There was a young tour guide that took a group of 40 senior citizens to Ireland. The fact that they were all women is descriptive, not judgmental. But they were all senior women, and this tour guide was young, enthusiastic, and at the end of the day, he was one of those people, no matter what it was, he saw the bright side of it, and he had one lady on the trip, he just couldn't satisfy her. He'd said, oh, you're going to love tonight. We're going to have dinner at the hotel, authentic Irish dancers, authentic Irish food. It's going to be a great evening. And then he saw her the next morning. Well, how was last night? Oh, clack, clack, clack. I couldn't sleep all night thinking about that clacking. That food was average, and that furnace was on and off all night. It was terrible. He said, well, you'll like today. We're going to go to some woolen mills. You can get some authentic Irish goods. Get your grandkids. So they get off the bus. They go 3 hours later to get back on the bus. He said, well, did you get your grandkids something? Oh, no, the euro rate was ridiculous. That scratchy stuff. My grandkids would never wear anything like that. Now, you know, people like this wear on you. Even the most enthusiastic person can get just worn down by this. So finally, the last day, they went to the Blarney Castle. And if you've ever been there, pulled up in the bus. There must have been 30 buses at the Blarney Castle. He hears her go, oh! He said, no, 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 we have pre-purchased tickets. We're going to go right in the back, and they're ready for us as soon as we get off the bus. Everybody on the bus clapped. Now, at the top of the Blarney Castle, it was cordoned off, because that's where the Blarney Stone is. And lots of people like to go to the Blarney Stone. Some of you have probably been there. Well, it was cordoned off, and he said, we're not going to be able to visit the Blarney Stone. That took her over the edge. She said, I put up with bad weather, high prices, lousy food for one reason. I wanted to come to the Blarney Castle and the Blarney Stone, because legend has it, if you kiss the Blarney Stone, people go up there and they lean back and they kiss this rock. That is what happens. If you kiss the Blarney Stone, you'll have good luck the rest of your life. And now you tell me I can't even get near it. Now, this is high drama on the bus. He said, I'm really sorry. But he understood the context, and he must have been very creative, because what he said next was, well, look, I'm sorry we can't go up there, but do you know legend has it if you kiss someone who's kissed the Blarney Stone, you can have that same good luck the rest of your life. She looks at him and said, I suppose you've kissed the Blarney Stone? He said, no, better than that, I've sat on it. You get what you give in communications. This is how it works. You get what you give. And at the end of the day, part of being a communicator is to be a director of hope. At Battelle for Kids, we did lots of things with Gallup, the Gallup organization. And I need to tell you what hope is, because I think all of you need to be a director of hope. In the largest study of leadership that Gallup ever did, they said followers want 4 things. And at the top of that list, in addition to trust, compassion, and stability, they want hope. Now, hope is not the Care Bears. It's not, oh, if I just think it in my heart, it'll happen. No, it won't. No, it won't. Might, but it won't because you're thinking it. Hope is the absolute understanding that tomorrow can be better than today, but there are real obstacles we have to overcome. And kids can borrow hope from people who have it. And the way you teach hope is to help kids to set goals. Then give them the skills to accomplish that and make sure it's their goals, and that if they accomplish them, it'll take them someplace worth going to. So be a director of hope, because there's nothing that leaders can do to enhance more followership than honest, sincere hope. And it's not fuzzy-eyed about what it is. Those matter. So how you see things. I remember when NCLB was first passed. And I went to meet with a group, and somebody, this is in 2002, they said, you really think by 2016, 100% of the kids are going to be proficient in English language, arts, and mathematics? I said, no, I don't think they will be. Oh, well then, how can you even talk about this? Turns out I was right. You didn't exactly have to be prophetic to know that. Well, I said, okay, well, here's the alternative. Do you want to put a sign out in front of your school that says, welcome to Smith Elementary? Some of the kids here will learn. Maybe yours will be one of them. Poor performance is not a sin, but low aim is. High expectations are part of what you communicate with kids. Now, just for a minute, I want you to raise your 2 hands as high as you can. Raise your 2 hands as high as you can. All right, look around. Okay? All right, now, raise them higher. Okay, one more time, raise them higher. You get the idea. Sometimes when I do this in class, pretty soon if I wait long enough, people will be standing on chairs. Then the table. You get the idea. Your expectations are motivating to kids, even if they don't agree with them. So you have to decide, what is it that you expect of people? Whether it's kids you have in the classroom, other people that are part of the custodial staff, bus drivers. So at the end of the day, that matters. So it does matter. You need to treat people as if they were what they could become. And they have a chance of becoming it. So it's what you communicate. There's nothing more important than communication. So that's a second base of leadership. Third base of leadership, collaboration. Collaboration is, what can we do better together than I could do individually? So when you think about it, what is it we could do better together? One of the things that we know is when we know kids' strengths, when we know each other's strengths, there's nothing that contributes more to leadership. I don't know how many of you have ever taken Strength Finder. I'm not a paid salesman for them, but I love Strength Finder. Over 30 million people have taken this. And it's just an assessment. There are lots of assessments. I encourage people to do them because part of leadership is know yourself. I love what Oscar Wilde said, be yourself. Everybody else is taken. You're enough, but to understand yourself. You build teams by knowing the strengths of other people. We know, based on evidence, that kids are 40 times more likely to be engaged if a teacher knows their strengths, knows them. And the last thing to know strengths is because you do increase engagement. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want to take 30 seconds and do this. I want you to think what your strengths are. And I want you to share one of your strengths with the person next to you and how you're going to use it this year. All right? What's one of your strengths and how you're going to use it? Share that with the person next to you. Okay, strength-based leadership. You need to know what your strengths are. Now, sometimes people say, well, I don't need to take an assessment. I know what my strengths are. And of course you know what some of your strengths are. But then I remind people, you ever go to a karaoke bar? There are people think they can sing too. So at the end of the day, you want to have a good picture of what your strengths are. They matter because we collaborate best when we use our strengths. And we need to know what the team around us, what their strengths are, so we can use them. I'll give you one last real example. I used to run a lot. About 25 years ago, at an August day, I was running. I end up at Ohio State's hospital, and they tell me that I had a heart attack and they're going to do bypass surgery and they need to do it in the next couple days. Now, I was in great health. I thought, I ran, I didn't smoke, any of those things. So I meet with the surgeon the next day because they're going to do it the very next day. Now imagine if you were meeting with a surgeon completely unexpectedly, what would you ask that surgeon? I can promise you would ask him some variation of what I ask him. I would ask him, hey, have you done a lot of these? I didn't want somebody to say, oh no, I'm a student doctor. This will be my first chest I crack open. And he said, no, I've done a lot of these. I think we'll be okay. And it was. But then I read a study by Adam Grant of 200 heart surgeons who practiced in 36 hospitals and had done collectively 50,000 heart bypass. I read the study. And I would have asked another question. Now, before I tell you what the question is, because it was based on the research, I found myself back at Ohio State about 6 years ago. This was a happy day. I thought they were going to have to redo all this again. So I go in, you know, they have the gurney and everybody comes in with the mask before those were popular. And we all come in, they're there, I don't know anybody. Absolute truth. I leaned up on the gurney and I said, can I have your attention? There were 6 people that immediately looked at me. Here's what I asked them. I said, I'm curious about something. I said, how does this work here? Do you just all get assigned to cases and you just showed up here because mine was scheduled for 8:30, or do you work together every day? They laughed and said, oh, no, we work together every day. We all know each other. I said, okay. I put my head back down. Here's why. Because Adam Grant's study of heart surgeons said there's a 3% mortality rate associated with heart surgery. It can be reduced to 1% if you practice with the same team. Once I knew they were a team, I put my head down and thought, yes, I just increased my chances 2%. At the end of the day, knowing who's on your team and knowing the strengths of your team, you provide better systemic leadership because different people do different things. Gallup says for every job, there's somebody who likes to do it. There are people who like to do things you think, oh, I wouldn't want to do that. That's why yard sales work. One person's throwaway is somebody else's prize. So collaboration is a powerful third base. The last base is the most important. It's really first, second, third added together. It's your culture. And culture does trump strategy. Culture is everything. It's what we pay attention to, how we communicate, how we work together. It's how we do things around here. You could tell the culture of this morning by who you celebrated, why you celebrated them. All those things contribute. I remember I worked with a high school principal for many years that I loved. He used to say to kids, now look, you can't talk yourself out of something you have behaved yourself into. Culture is about behavior. It's about behavior. It's like a professor I had many years ago said, don't tell me what you believe, show me what you do. I'll tell you what you believe. And when you line up beliefs with vision and purpose, and those are in alignment, that is what systemic leadership looks like. That's what you have here. There's nothing more important. And I will tell you with culture, I can tell you, the most important thing you're going to ever give people or kids, they're going to remember you. The greatest gift you ever give anyone is you. I can promise you, if we brought the class of 2018 in 30 years, 2048, together in this gym, and you put them together, it wouldn't matter what high school they went to. 30 years later, you get in the middle of it, I can tell you what they're going to talk about. They're not going to talk about, when we were seniors, I think that's when the state passed the new accountability rules, weren't they? And instead of 5 stars, you had to get this. That's not what they're going to talk about. I'm not suggesting that's not important. What they're going to talk about is you. How you lead is how you will be remembered. And it is impossible not to be. It's not what you say you are, it's who you are. It's why people show up, so you need to live and lead the way you want to be remembered, because you will be. That's your personal brand. That's the culture each of us bring to whatever anything is. And there's nothing more important than you and what you bring to it. In the longest study ever of human beings, it started at Harvard in 1938. The official title of it is the Harvard Study of Human Development. They studied a group of 269 sophomores at Harvard in 1938 throughout their entire lives. They added 450 14-year-olds from inner city Boston along with the group. Now they have followed these 700 people their entire lives. They're nearly all deceased, but then they followed their kids and their grandkids. I'm going to summarize this study in one word. There's a book written about it called The Good Life, but I'm going to summarize it in one word. The thing that predicts a flourishing life, economically, physically, and in every way, one word: relationships. Relationships matter, and you're building relationships. So I told Jeff, I love graduation because at least for one night, all sins are forgiven, and people are hugging, and at the end of the day, we are blessed to work in a profession where it is based on relationships. And there's nothing more important to the culture than relationships. Now, I have to admit that David Brooks, the writer, talks about resume virtues and eulogy virtues. I'll tell you where you see them. You see them in obituaries. Now, I have to confess, I read obituaries in the Columbus Dispatch. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm old or the fact that I'm Irish and these are like our sports pages. But I read those. And you can see them expressed in there. A resume virtue would be he or she was captain of, led, named that, nominated for. Real achievements that the family and the person's proud of, and they ought to be there. Eulogy virtues are about the kind of person you are. You start reading these. Nana had her art camp for her 10 grandkids who continued to go even in their 20s. He would take the shirt off his back to help anybody. We read about the kind of person you were. That is what people remember the most. What kind of person were you? Now, live and lead the way you want to be remembered. For years, I taught a methods class to seniors who were going to be teachers, and I'd drive to the branch campuses. Jeff, I never told him I was superintendent because I didn't want to lose my credibility. But at the end of the day, I would always ask them on the first class, I want you to write a letter to a teacher that made a difference. I said, now if you want to ruin it, you'll say, as part of the class. They didn't do that. Just write a letter to them. I want a copy of it. They thought it had to do with accountability. It had nothing to do with accountability. I like reading the letters. I have hundreds of letters that I know made teachers' days when they received these from former students. And I just want to read a couple short excerpts from them. Dear Mr. Blank, you were one of my hardest teachers, but you were also my favorite teacher. You made chemistry fun and interesting. I'll never forget when you were electron man in the lesson it taught. I remember getting my unknowns done first and sitting at my desk when Cindy's hair caught fire. You jokingly said it was your fault, and it was actually my fault. I remember you telling me I should assert myself and not let people walk all over me. You took an interest in everyone in the class. I liked review days, playing Hollywood squares, and hoping that I'd be the secret square to get the finely aged Hershey bar. I couldn't wait to take physics the next year from you. Or if you think these don't go back a long way, dear Blank, my inspiration, my reason for choosing a teaching career came from you, my 8th grade teacher. I want to thank you for your concern about my life, even after the 8th grade, and your kindness as an authority figure. Anyone can become a teacher, but to become a friend, confidant, sports fan, mother, caregiver, and an inspiration, that takes talent. If you think these don't go back a long way, dear Mrs. Blank, I don't know if you remember me or not. My name was Valerie Blank, and I was in your 5th grade class during the 1959-60 school year. Do you remember the horse and buggy pin you gave me? You found I love horses and gave me a horse and buggy pin. I still have that pin and shared it with my children and now my grandchildren about the very special teacher you were and what you did to show your concern for me. And the last one, this is only a rural school. Could you have a student who would write this? Dear Mr. Blank, I'll never forget the watershed project we did, the trip to D.C., the radio shows we taped in VOAG class, and the sheep shearing school. Even though I never owned a sheep, I still have the scar from that one. They're all real life. Maybe my favorite, if you can imagine this, in 1958, President Eisenhower invited budding author James Michener to come to the White House to a dinner. And James Michener, of course you can imagine being invited to a White House dinner along with other people. And James Michener, this is what he sent the telegram back to President Eisenhower. Dear Mr. President, I received your invitation 3 days after I'd agreed to speak a few words at a dinner honoring the wonderful high school teacher who taught me to write. I know you'll not miss me at your dinner, but she might at hers. And President Eisenhower, to his credit, telegraphed back and said that in a lifetime, you might live under 15 or 16 presidents, but when a really fine teacher comes into your life and a chance to honor them, you made the right decision. Those matter. And then as a final one, I want to share that where I was superintendent, our high school was called John Glenn High School. It's where Senator Glenn grew up. It was his hometown. He came back many times. He was the first person ever inducted into our Hall of Fame when we started it in the 80s. But he is not the person that I remember the most from what happened. We used to have an event where we'd bring all of the students for an academic banquet, and that was the night we would induct 2 or 3 people into our Alumni Hall of Fame. And we would ask them to make a few remarks. So John Glenn, of course, was the first. Several years later, though, the person who we inducted was the high school custodian, Roger Bates, who passed away just a few years ago. Roger Bates loved that school. That ground looked like an absolute park. Students worked for him. He was respectful. All the things you could imagine. And I remember when I first told him that he had been selected, he was just bowled over by it. I said, Roger, you can say whatever you want. He said, I'll think about it, but I'll tell you what happened. What I remember is not what he said. I just remember what happened. When he was introduced, he came up, and all of the students gave him a standing ovation because they knew him. They knew how he treated them. He exercised leadership in his daily life every day, and it matters. And we all have that opportunity. Now, I have one other thing that I want to pass out, and it comes from, actually, I'm a baseball fan, so it's the way to end this. I saved baseballs. I used to get signatures, and then I realized what's going to happen someday. My kids are going to look at this, they're going to go, who is this? Just throw this away. This is going to go in the big dumpster. So I decided I'm saving the wrong thing. So I did something in my class about 10 years ago. I passed out baseballs. I'll pass out baseballs in 3 weeks. And I said, I'm going to give you part of your final exercise right now. By the time in the spring, we will really know each other, and hopefully we will have built some trust. Your assignment is I want you to get 3 to 5 signatures of people who made a difference in your life. And I want them to sign your baseball. And I want you to do 2 things. Make sure you tell them why you're asking them to sign your baseball. And number 2, if they're no longer with us, have somebody who knew them, who was close to them, sign for them. And then the last class, we're just going to share stories. And if you want to pass, you can pass. But by that time, I can tell you, I've never had students who didn't want to share some of those stories. There's an old saying where I grew up said, you ever see a turtle on a fence post? If you did, it didn't get there by itself. None of you got to where you are by yourselves. So I started asking students to do this. And then the last class, they share. I can tell you right now, if we did this with 2,200 people, I can promise you, I already know what your answers are. Family, parents, grandparents, siblings, spouse, teachers and coaches. It's incredible to me how important, and I see it expressed there. Former bosses. We get the chance to interact with lots of people, so when they bring those, it's fascinating. And then I asked them after that last class, I said, you want to know how to be a good leader? You just heard it. You just heard it from personal testimonies of everybody in here. Great leaders are grateful. Gratitude matters. And it's the ultimate expression of gratitude when you go out and you get signatures. And then the last thing I ask them to do, I say, I want you to put this baseball on your desk, wherever you work, because here's what's going to happen. Somebody's going to walk in, they're going to see your baseball signatures, and they're going to pick it up and go. They're going to be looking for, I don't know, Pete Rose or Johnny Bench. They're going to look it up and go, who's Wilma Higginbooth? And then you're going to say, well, that was my mom's sister who took us to all kinds of places because she didn't have any kids. And she did so many things for us, and our parents were so, so happy that she did that. And she was our hero. And then when you tell that story, you're reliving the powerful legacy. They are never gone. And sure enough, this last summer, I ran into somebody who said, I got to tell you what happened. I said, what happened? He works for the Ohio Department of Transportation. He said, honest to God, the governor walked in my office. He's a director. He said he saw that baseball, picked it up, and he said, hey, who, because he's a big Reds fan. And he said, who are these people? And he said, I got a chance to tell him about a couple of them. That's how important it really, really is. Now, you told me your son plays baseball. I want to give you one. Jeff, I guarantee you have people here who you'll want to sign your baseball. And I know. classroom, one of the representatives. Here we go. Oh, good catch. Good catch. I didn't make it a line drive. There's nothing more important than sincere, honest gratitude for the people who help us get, and we are all in that position to do that. And then I promised my publisher I would do this. Perfect title of this book, To Lead is to Teach. I want to give it to this classroom teacher representative right here. And at the end of the day, I just want to say this. You brought the energy. There's nothing that is more important. I feel blessed all these years to have gotten to do something that I truly loved. And I just want to, again, on behalf of all those students whom you're going to begin interacting with on Wednesday in absentia, thank you for what you do. You are changing and transforming lives and making a huge difference that not everybody gets to do. And you are doing it as one through the exercise of your individual and collective leadership. This is a great district. And Jeff, I want to thank you again, because there are no good organizations without good leaders, individual and collective. And it's obvious that you have been more than that here. That is very, very clear. So again, the very last thing, we are together, we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Jim, you gave me a challenge. And before we get out of here, we're about ready to wrap up. I know you guys are being patient. Thank you. One of those signatures is going to be a very special woman in my life who is here today, retired Wayne Township teacher and my wife, Tammy Butts. The second signature is going to be somebody who has taken care of me for the last 6 years. Is that how long we've been together? My executive assistant, Bianca Brown. Bianca tells me where to be, when to be there, how to do it. And she remembered something I didn't. Michelle's jersey. Your number one jersey. There you go. Jim, thank you for that wonderful message. This is opening day number 20 for me in Wayne Township, and number 15 as superintendent. Hard to believe.
Hey you.
Mr. White. Yeah.
Of course I'm talking to you. Who else do you think I'm talking to? These other 2,300 people in the gymnasium?
Well, maybe.
No, I'm talking to you. You know that HDA that you do, the one where if you knew me well, you would know, where people go around the room and they share intimate secrets that only close acquaintances and friends would know?
Yeah, I like that one.
Well, anybody that knows you are far too emotional to finish this thing up.
Very true.
So why don't you go over and sit with that amazing school board, the best one you've ever worked for, or that amazing cabinet of leaders that you have hired, and let me wrap this up.
Okay.
Well, once again, welcome to all of our new employees here to the MSD of Wayne Township. As you saw earlier this morning, we have so many employees who have dedicated their careers to the MSD of Wayne Township. If you would have asked me, I would have told you I'd never believed I would be in any one place for 20 years. Prior to coming to Wayne Township, I had 8 years in rural schools and 6 years in suburban schools. What did a guy like me know about urban education? Absolutely nothing. But what I did know was the amazing reputation of the MSD of Wayne Township. And just like our opening day theme in 2009, I believed. I believed that all children could learn and succeed. Whether they were our youngest learners, like the ones here at Wayne Township Preschool, our oldest learners, like the ones here at Wayne Township Adult Education, or somewhere in between, like the students here at Lyndhurst 7th and 8th Grade Center. During my transition from being the principal at Battleground Middle School and Tippecanoe School Corporation to join the MSD of Wayne Township as assistant superintendent, Tom Langdo scheduled several opportunities for me to be with community leaders and to be with our educators in professional development. What I remember vividly was how amazed I was with the talent and professionalism of those who I was sitting amongst in the MSD of Wayne Township. In fact, I'm not sure I spoke a single word for several months just because I was so in awe. I started in March of 2006. It was spring break, and I was the only administrator in the Ed Center. And I prayed that nobody would stop into my office or give me a phone call because I had no idea what was going on or what I was supposed to do. My responsibilities included supervising the 5 elementary schools that feed into Chapel Hill 7th and 8th grade center and all of the secondary schools. And so I asked my assistant to please schedule visits to each one of those elementary schools. And I started right here at North Wayne. Scott Dietz was the principal at the time and took me around to visit classrooms and to meet teachers. And ironically, my second visit was just 3.2 miles down the road to Roby Elementary School. 20 years ago, I don't think I could have picked 2 different schools than North Wayne Elementary School and Roby Elementary School. At Roby Elementary, then Principal Kyle Fessler talked to me about the uniqueness of the town of Claremont. What I very quickly learned, in this 37.5 square miles that's called the MSD of Wayne Township, we have so many unique communities that absolutely love and support their schools. And this year, for the first time, our students will be transported on our 2 new electric school buses. In October of 2010, the school board hired me to be the 5th superintendent in the MSD of Wayne Township. In fact, current school board member Mike Nance was on that board. Mr. Nance has had the opportunity to hire me twice, once in 2006 as assistant superintendent and in 2010 to be this next superintendent beginning January the 1st of 2011. I knew before I took over that I wanted a guiding light. I wanted a North Star, something that could bring us together. And the perfect opportunity emerged when Mr. Goins invited me to the studio at BDTV at Ben Davis High School. When I met with the students, much like the students who are sitting here today preparing for the upcoming school year, our mantra, "We are Wayne," emerged. And from that, I am Wayne, you are Wayne, we are Wayne, took shape. It wasn't until 2015 that we added great schools, great community as part of our referendum campaign. We knew the importance at that time of our schools and our community and the support of our community in our schools. Current school board member Sherry O'Day Marcotte was the founding principal of Bridgeport Elementary School in 2004. When I was hired as superintendent in 2011, Sherry was in charge of communications throughout the MSD of Wayne Township. And wouldn't you know it, she chose Bridgeport Elementary for my very first interview with the Indianapolis Star. The Star followed me around to classrooms and to hallways, and many of those pictures were recently used in a story about my retirement. My hair was darker and my skin was tighter. By a show of hands, how many of you remember my very first opening day in 2011? Tammy had gone around and had filled me all summer long, running through Eagle Creek, not taking a shower, but brushing my teeth, getting ready for that opening day, pulling up to the entrance of Ben Davis High School, and then walking into the Ben Davis High School gymnasium. Choir director Leah Trigg had worked with me all summer in the living room of her house to prepare me to sing that Michael Bublé song, Feeling Good. I could not have been more nervous walking into a gymnasium of 2,300 employees singing a Michael Bublé song. I'm no Mark Brown. What a wonderful opportunity that was for me to kick off my superintendency and my very first opening day as superintendent. Over the years, we've seen some interesting performances. I didn't say great, I said interesting. We've had singing, we've had dancing, we've had acting, we've had playing instruments, we've even had playing cups. It's been a wonderful opportunity to celebrate each and every opening day. And in fact, this year, every single one of us participated in the Hokey Pokey. Give yourself another round of applause. You all did a great job this morning dancing and joining together in the Hokey Pokey. So what would an opening day be without me doing the same thing I did in my first opening day, trying to sing? So I thought about songs that maybe I could sing. The first one that came to mind was, na 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 na, na 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 na, hey, 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 goodbye. And I thought, no, that's not appropriate for opening day, maybe a little too soon. And then from one of my favorite movies, I thought about, so long, farewell, and Misty Wayne, adieu, 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 to you and you and you. No, that one really doesn't work either. So when you think of that final curtain, when you think of the end, what song is appropriate? And now the end is near, so I face my final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every byway. Oh, no, that one's not right either. Look, all jokes aside, there are no perfect lyrics or words that can describe the profound impact that the MSD of Wayne Township and this community has had on my life and the life of my wife, Tammy. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your superintendent the last 15 years. I want to thank you for all that you do and all that you will do to support our students, to support each other, and to continue to make sure that we have great schools in this great community. Nearly 10 years ago, a student at the Ben Davis Spotlight asked me a question that I wasn't ready for. And as I quickly responded, and have thought about that response over the years, I believe it is still true. The question was, what do you want your legacy to be? You see, I don't believe that we are responsible or determine our own legacy. In fact, I believe our legacy is determined by those with whom we've had the opportunity to work with and impact over the years, and those who still remain in an organization after we depart. What I do hope my legacy is that Wayne Township is better today than it was when I arrived. Dr. Mahoney's message could not have been more perfect for the times that we are in. Each one of us is a leader in this organization. Each one of us is a leader in the areas that we are responsible for. And it's important for us to each accept that level of leadership, to understand how critically important our role is to the success of those whom we are fortunate enough to engage with on a daily basis. So as we get ready to conclude Opening Day 2025, I'd ask you all to please stand and join me in our mantra. I am Wayne, you are Wayne, we are Wayne. Let's try that one more time. This time we'll count us down. Ready? 3, 2, 1. I am Wayne, you are Wayne, we are Wayne. Thank you, everybody. Have a great school year.